go. There we go. Awesome. Okay. I think we're good.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, today you're gonna need you obviously got the bands. I hope you guys got some bands or some things. I got all kinds of different ones. I'm at home now, and where at home I have actually a lot more stuff than I have at the club because I moved everything over because of everything, right? But if you guys have something like this, it's basically this is just like a puck, but it's kind of spongy. If you have something that's kind of softer, like
Can
I'm
it
just
go?
gonna show you, yeah, I'm just gonna show you first, right? So a lot of the stuff I want to show today is how to understand the difference between 10, 15, 20, 30, 50% pressure and what it does to you. Okay. So we're going to start simply with our grip, right? So if you have a ball, but it's got to be a little squishy, right? It can't be hard, right? Because it needs to give a little bit, right? Now, I got this a long time ago. I don't actually play hockey. I'm probably one of the only Canadians that doesn't. But this is kind of like a flexible puck. It's like meant, I guess, for indoors. And what I love to do with this is when I grab it, I like how it fits in my hand because it starts to work on the inside here rather than just the fingers. So what I do is I put it in my hand and I start to squeeze and it's progressive. So I'm not trying to squeeze all at once. I'm trying to take about 10 seconds to get to full squeeze. So I can actually feel this squishing right now. I also have one of these. I mean, everybody knows what these things are, right? They've been around since forever. So you can see it. And the idea is that I slowly build up pressure. It takes about anywhere between 10 and 20 seconds until I get to maximum pressure, and then I relieve it. So I'm very, very slowly understanding how to increase the pressure in my hand and then release the pressure in my hand. Okay. So it's not like on off or 1 second, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. It's really slow. And I feel the difference, right? Now there becomes a point, like if you're just watching me here for a second, there's very little pressure on my hand now. As I start to squeeze, there's about 10%. I'm still pretty good, like in the wrist. I get to about 30, I'm still pretty good. But when I get to about 50, I can't move my wrist as much as I would like. So there's a point where enough pressure builds up, it's hard to move the next joint over. Okay. So what I want you to do, if you haven't, guys, mute yourself, please, just so we don't hear everybody talking. Otherwise, we'll get this. So grab something like this or something like this, and slowly, just for a second, because the hand is good, right? And what you realize is, as you slowly build up pressure, right? As you slowly build up, so the pressure is even amongst all the fingers, the thumb too, right? As you get to maximum pressure, you realize it's really hard to move the wrist now, right? And then slowly relieve the pressure. And I know it's hard to detect, but when I make a fast fist, when I make a fast grip, it kind of upsets me a little bit. I feel that I make a fast fist when I want to punch. So there's a little bit of something different. When I make it slow like this, I don't have that same feeling. I don't have that same way I'm getting upset, right? So when you build up pressure, you realize right away, instead of tension, because this is tension, this is pressure, okay? And pressure doesn't get you as angry, or you're not so mad with it, right? So try it a little bit with whatever you have, either this or some sort of ball of some sort that you can squeeze. It's got to be mushy a little bit, right? And just build it up for 10 seconds. Let it go for 10 seconds. This is really good, Aram, because when you're doing the shashka, you have to find the amount of pressure that you can hold on to that weapon, whether it's a gun, a knife, a sword. Each one has its own like good pressure. You need to feel that. Really good, guys. Really good. Keep going. Try to even close your eyes. You could do two at the same time. right? You filled up of pressure. Great. Okay, good, good. Talk to me, guys. Did you feel that? I just want to make sure you felt it, because this is a really interesting. Did you feel that? Could you feel that it wasn't tension, but it was pressure? We'll work on it. I want you to, this is going to be our challenge. This is going to be our big thing today, is how to change your mind from seeing tension and changing it to pressure. Okay. So here's another example, right? Here's and this is going to take, but when you get it, you'll never look at this the same way. It just takes a little time. It took me a real long time to figure this out, guys. I'm trying to get it to you as fast as I can, but if I see my muscles and my bones, right, I feel tension now. But if I start to study pressure in my hand, I get to a better fist. My fist feels better when I study pressure. So here's another example, right? Just you can see it. So if I pull back, right, if I'm pulling back, I feel my muscles, right? For years I did this. I feel my muscles pulling on my bow when I was doing archery, or I'd feel my muscles with my push-up. Same idea. Now I don't feel myself. I feel the pressure on this rubber band. I don't feel myself. I'm feeling the pressure that this band is under. Because when I'm in archery, I don't want to feel myself. I want to let the band go. I need to feel when this is at a good pressure, and then I let it go. So that's the thing. I'm not feeling my muscles. I'm not feeling my back and my shoulders. I'm feeling the pressure that's being built up on this band, and I'm letting it go, right? That's the same thing. A fight is the same thing. There's a pressure in a fight. Two guys get together, they get in each other's grill, and they start talking, and all of a sudden, it's not a tension. It's a pressure that finally builds when somebody just whacks somebody, right? You got to change how you see this, right? So grab a band now, okay? Grab a band, okay? I have a small one, but you could have a long one and just hold it tight, okay? Now, don't hold it far, like close to you so you can see it, right? And watch the band stretch, okay? And at first, I want you to feel your muscles, like your back muscle, your shoulders, whatever. I'm pulling, and it's all about me. It's all the exercise. Like I feel my muscles working, right? And you don't need to even think about the band. Just look at it, okay? And then if you can quickly now, look at the rubber band. Just look at your band and watch it stretching and feel the pressure this band is under, okay? Now, if you did it this way, you would feel it more, because if the pressure got too much, it would whack you in the face, right? So I'm pulling the band, and rather than thinking about my body, I'm thinking about the pressure the band is under. And obviously, maximum tension, it won't move. But I start gradual, 5%, 10%, 15%, and it starts to build, and the pressure builds on the band. Try it. So try to put a number, 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%, the band doesn't move. It's at maximum termination. And boy, you better know where that is, because right after that, it breaks. So if you want to be one of those guys on YouTube where the band breaks and smacks them in the face, exercise videos like this everywhere. You can also do it from different positions, right? Like I'm here and I want to bring the band here, right? So 10%, 20%, 30%, and that's 50. For me, 50, I can still move, right? So I'm not feeling my chest right now. This is not like a chest stretch. For me, this is pressure in the band. Okay, so I'm keeping 50% pressure, and because of that, I can still move my body. If I go over 50%, if I stretch this band out here, I can't move like I want. So grab your band and try to make it like, try to make it from here all the way back at 50% pressure. Alex, you have a question, you can ask me. I don't know if any of you got questions, you just ask me. Yeah. So,
Danny,
yeah,
over the time you've been doing this, would you say that you're able to be aware of increased pressure and maintain your movement where some time ago you couldn't have gone that far? Like, is your ability increasing as you practice more?
you're gonna get, Tom. You have no idea, guys. This is. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, guys. This is the stuff that is gonna take you to another level. But it's not. It's so hard to explain because I played with this endlessly for months before that. I'm a guy that's it's time versus effort. More time. Don't try harder, just longer time and create more sensitivity in your. So Tom, you're very right. What you'll find is when people grab you tomorrow, you'll feel the pressure and you will feel and you'll understand that that person is grabbing me at 70% pressure. I can feel the difference. Like you can see the grab and that person is locked, and their lock means that they're mad. Did you see the difference? Like there's anger, when people hold on for more than 50%, there is ego, they're trying to prove something, that something is wrong. Okay, that's it, right? It's very simple. Like when left alone, people only grab like 50% of their effort. They don't try harder than that. They try harder because they're trying to prove something, right? Does that make sense? I hope it does. So then, and you can do all these angles, right? This is what I love about it. So then I go this way, right? And I can feel the pressure is different. Like I feel different pressure here than here now, right? And yes, it could be a stretch, but I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on the pressure. These ribs are under greater pressure than these right now. They're stretching and I can feel that these muscles are getting to capacity. The same here, right? The same if I start to twist and rotate. So I'm just feeling how the band hasn't moved, but the pressure is changing on my body as I move. There's different pressures being used and allocated.
This feels like finding freedom when someone's grabbing you, like,
Yes,
right?
yes, it can be.
Yeah.
Now, guys, watch me one more time. So I have these little bands. I really like these. If you get a chance, I have all kind of an assortment of like long ones, short ones, different densities. Like this one's got a different density. This one's a little bit thicker. And what it is now instead of pulling, I put my hands between and I open. Okay. And again, I'm looking for pressure. So right now there is no pressure on the bands. Now there's a little bit of pressure. Now there's a little bit more. Now there's a little bit more. Now there's a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And I'm not thinking about exercising my back. I'm feeling pressure. Okay. If I do this, it changes it. If I do this, it changes it. It not only changes the muscles, look at my hands. If I put my hands outside, it changes it. It's a pressure, right? The pressure is changing. Okay. Try that, guys. Try it. If you have a long one, you just fold it. Like you can just fold it up a few times and put your hands between it. Yeah. Right. And it doesn't matter the size. It can be really small. Like you can make these like handcuffs, for God's sakes. It doesn't matter. I know Ram's into those things. So yeah. And Eric, you can do it with bent arms or you can do it with straight arms. Any mix and match is fine. But at any given moment, you should be able to say, I'm at this pressure. Like, make sure you're aware, to put a number to it, 50%, 30%, 70%. Like, yeah, there you go. And you'll find 50% is really good. Like that's good for cardio. It's good for working out. You'll be able to work out for a long time if you can find 50% pressure in the body, right? Pressure, not tension, but pressure. Awesome, guys. Great, 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 great. Okay. So back to this thing for a second, okay? So I'm gonna grab my ball or whatever it is in my hand. I listen, it could be a fist, but it's just nicer if you have something to hold that's squishy. So I get to about 50%, okay? And I want to keep this constant now, okay? I don't want this to go like vary. I want it to be constant. And now I'm going to start to move my shoulder, but keep this constant. This stays steady, okay? So I start to move my shoulder, or I move my elbow, or I move the other hand, but this stays constant, okay? So it's at 50%. What I don't want is this going on inside, this pulse, right? Every time I move, I want this to stay the same. So I start to kind of move, and you can move anything. You can, be on the ground, you can kick, you can lie down, but that pressure stays constant no matter what you decide to do. And just see if you can hold that pressure constant. If the hand gets tired, you switch it to the others. That's the good thing, right? So change your thinking. Don't feel the hand muscles. Feel the pressure that the thing you're holding is under. Good, guys. Keep going. That looks really good. Remember, if the hand gets tired, you just switch. Yeah, so Ram, that'd be the shashka, right? So the pressure you're holding has got to be constant so you can move with the wrist, right? And the whole arm. But if the pressure varies, you'll lose the shashka. It won't be the same. Awesome, guys. Good. Now grab your band, right? So now I put some tension. I'm not even at 50%, guys, 20%, right? Now at the beginning, I'm starting on the ground because I find it easier. I start to make some movements, right? And I want to keep the band under the same pressure, right? So no matter how I move out or in or to the left or to the right or down, it feels like the band is not doing that. It feels constant, okay? And what I'm doing now is I'm seeing, can I move my elbows and keep the band constant? Can I move my shoulders and keep the band constant, right? Can I go to the ground and keep the band constant? So I start to move. And whenever you feel that band vibrating or changing lengths, you got to slow down. Yeah. So constant, hold the same pressure. It's got a constant pressure. Aram, that looks good. That looks good. And Miro as well. That looks good.
Manny,
Yes.
it's interesting when you walk around with it. You can feel exactly when the pressure changes, even if it's a little bit. Do you find that as well?
Yeah.
Even the slightest change, you feel it.
Aram, even the slightest mental change.
Right.
Even if you lose your, I'm telling you, everybody in sports does this training. It does, a gymnast especially. Mental will break this, not physical. It's not physical. It's just something mentally took your focus and you relaxed and the pressure was gone. Like that's really what it is. It's gone. Like it's more of a mental distraction that will affect you from here. So you got to mentally keep strong when you're doing this, okay? Okay, guys, good, good. Okay, now you bring the band deeper, okay? So I bring it like towards my elbows. So now it's at my elbow and I open up with my elbows, right? And again, I start to move and I need to keep that pressure constant. Okay. Now, if it helps you, you can do this, right? And, you know, say a prayer for me too. But if, because now you feel, because they're supporting each other, the pressure is constant. So if I move, like this is what it should feel like, but try to separate your hands now, right? Eric, that's some advanced stuff, man. If you pick up your cell phone, guys, now try to text. That's some high level shit, man. So, and then you start to say, can I move my hands, but keep the elastic with the same pressure? Can I turn? Can I go down and kick? Can I keep the same pressure on these elbows? Yeah, yeah, exactly, Alex, exactly. Can you, can you punch, right? And keep the pressure. It's going to move a little bit, but not too much. Like you're really trying to keep it. Especially in the legs, guys. Check your legs, check your body, check your punches, keep the elbows. Awesome. Stop for a sec. Okay. So just watch me for a sec, because this is a good chance for us to pick up some stuff. So you can see how the bands are just kind of holding my elbow, right? So when I put my hands together and I push out, okay, I could stay here all day, guys, because the bone structure, forearm to forearm, is supporting the band right now. Okay. Look how good you are when you have support. When you find support, you can almost rest in there. Okay. When they're not touching, when your hands are not touching, you see how long you won't last. Like you see how fatiguing this is, right? This will start to fatigue you. Okay. So what I'm trying to get at here is when you're moving or when you're working, make sure you find a way of supporting yourself so that it's not as hard. Okay. You want to try be efficient as much as you can. So every chance I can, I try to find a way of supporting myself. See, like my hands are not pushing on my body, right? They're not pushing on each other, they're pushing on my body now. And even this is easier, right? So as you're moving now, try to find ways of supporting yourself, right? Any which way that you can. Okay. And watch how that will change how much less energy you use. This is what the good wrestlers do. They find a way to support themselves so they rest in there. Otherwise, their muscles will be fatigued. Okay, good. Come close. Okay, so how was it? It was okay? Could you feel it? Could you feel this idea of pressure?
I made it an imaginary support object and I held a ball between my hands,
Yes, support
an
this.
imaginary ball, and I
Yeah.
found that became a support.
Good. Yeah, you can. So listen, guys, when you can make it in your mind as well, depends. Like, you ever watch that movie is it Castaway, with where the guy was lost on an island and he took the ball and he drew a face on it and it gave him support, like maybe he will find somebody again, right? Like however you create the support in your head, it's powerful. Okay. Now, there's two things. You think of your body, all the muscles in your body are meant to either pull or push, right? That's how our muscles are worked. Either they're pulling or they're pushing muscles. That's generally, or supporting muscles, like kind of around the joints, right? So the same that you did with this, like where you squeezed it, right? I have a ball like this one. This ball is like, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's deflated a little bit, right? So because of that, when I grab it, I feel it like crushing. Okay. So now that's different from this ball. Okay. This is a basketball and this is hard. This has no give at all. My son's basketball. There is no give here. So if I squeeze this, I only feel myself because it pushes into me, right? I don't feel the ball. So what I like to do is take
That is
the ball
well.
like this and I push. Like you can see how it goes. I'm pushing into the ball, right? And what I do is I start to move it, but I'm pushing into it. Okay. It's got to be a ball that has some give. So if it's full, take some air out, just a little bit of air. And what I do is it goes in, and now I feel this is like 100%. I can't move. I get to 50%, and now I'm squeezing. I'm not opening, but I'm squeezing, right? So I start to squeeze, just with my hands. First with my hands, and then later with my arms. And I try to find that 50%, and I try to start to keep the pressure constant. Okay. Let's think of clapping. If you want the same sound, the pressure has to stay the same. If it goes harder, it goes louder. So you need the pressure to be the same. Now I can't tell you. You have to just be honest with yourself. Okay. Like think of it. If the crowd doesn't like what they see, the clapping goes lower. If they really like it, the pressure increases on the hands. So for you, 50% pressure, and you can see mine, it gives in, right? And then I move it. And then I move it, and no matter how I move, I keep that pressure constant. Okay. So it starts in the hands. Go try it. Keep that pressure constant. You can walk, you can move on the ground. It doesn't, you can do squats, you can do leg raises, you can add any exercises with this. It doesn't really matter, but the pressure you have to keep. Alberto, I think you might need to mute, brother.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Remember, different angles. Think of your elbows and shoulders, and the pressure stays the same. Okay, good, guys. Good. So let's take it to another place. So put the ball on one part of your chest, okay? And grab it with one hand, okay? Just one hand. So you should feel pressure now with the chest, the forearm, the bicep. So you see the pressure. Chest, right? Forearm, bicep. Squeeze a little bit, like 50%, okay? So you should still be able to kind of move, right? And start to move. So hold the pressure constant. This is like how you'll wrestle when you grab somebody in a headlock, right? Try to check. So no more than 50%. You don't want to be desperate. You just want to hold the headlock and see what else you can do. Kick, punch, move, twist, turn. Yeah, just hold that pressure comfortably. Remember, not the muscles. You're holding the ball, the pressure on the ball. If you're choking somebody, you're squeezing their neck. You're not squeezing your body. You're squeezing their neck. You have to feel that pressure. Nice, Tom. Nice, Eddie. Looks good. Alberto too looks good. Remember, you could switch arms, guys. If they start to feel fatigue, just switch the arms. Awesome, guys. Good. Now, obviously, many different size bowls, like you can work with big, small, like this medium size, right? I like this size. It's pretty good because it's like the shape of a head, or it's got some good stuff to it. Now, what I want you to do is grab one and grab it 2 times. So you're grabbing it with both hands, right? So now the pressure's on the chest, arms, chest, arms, and forearms. So there's pressure from my chest, there's pressure from my bicep and forearms, both, right? That's it. And start to kind of, I mean, find whatever's comfortable for you, right? And squeeze. No. Watch me for a sec. Watch. So this is the trick about a headlock, and you always have to remember it. Okay, you never choke the person this way. You don't do it from here. This is not the way of doing it. The bicep is just not that as big as you might think. Okay, just watch me. I put my arm here, right? And what I do is I relax my chest into the ball. So I bring my chest into the arms. So you're here. See, I have my back, and then I push forward. My chest goes in to my arms, right? And this way I feel pressure. I don't want to feel my arms flexing. That's going to cause tension. I want pressure. Okay. So I find my 50% pressure, right? And I try to see how much I can move, right? Of course, my upper body is a little bit locked, but if you could imagine me there with a whip, whipping you, you would move your body a little bit. So even though I have pressure, I'm still able to move my pressure, right? Maybe I can't move fine, but I can still move a little bit, right? So start to move now and hold the ball with that 50% pressure with your whole upper body. Yeah, move around, roll, turn, twist. Imagine somebody whipping you, you know, kind of move your body a little bit. Yeah. That's it, guys. That's it. Remember, chest to the arms, not arms to the chest. Chest to the arms. You'll feel the pressure much better. Yeah, if you want, close your eyes, like feel. As you move, don't let that pressure come off the ball. Don't let it come off. Awesome, guys. Great. Come around. Unmute yourself if you have a chance. Just tell me how that felt. Could you feel the pressure a little bit? So some small observations with wrestling, okay? Small ones. So everybody try this. I've done this with a few people. I don't know if everybody. So open up your hands. Open up your hands, okay? Open up your hands. And very, very hard, grab yourself. And really strong, okay? Tight. That's what it looks like when you guys wrestle with each other, to me. You locked yourself, not the other person.
Yeah.
You locked yourself, okay? The trick to wrestling is to hold, but didn't lock yourself. Like, I need to lock that guy. I don't need to lock myself, okay? And why you do that is because you grab 100%. That's the problem. You can't grab that hard. If you grab that hard, you grab that hard on a finishing move. You don't grab that hard in general. Does that make sense? Like, that's not necessary all the time. Otherwise, you're gonna, you'll burn out or you'll be exhausted. So for just getting into position, so I'm just wrestling around, I'm grabbing a guy, I'm at 50%. I don't see the move yet. All of a sudden I get what I want. Yes. Then I go to full, but that's not all the time. Like, that's not all the time, guys. I hate to tell you, it's not all the time. Don't fall into. So when I'm doing these kind of things, I'm really studying how hard I want to grab somebody so that I can still move. I'm trying to find that place where I can accomplish two things. I hold somebody, but I don't lose my mobility. That's the trick. And in life, we're trying to do that too, right? We're trying to find how much we need to be happy, but not so much that we're burdened by it. There's a fine line there, right? So you want to find everything I need is most important, not also what you want. It's kind of that the want sometimes crush us, right? So this is just one small way of doing it. Now, I also do it with strikes, right? So if I hold the ball like this, right, I'm going to punch the ball, right? I want to feel the pressure, like as my fist goes in, I want to feel the pressure of the ball. Okay. I want to feel that pressure. Now, I'll give you a funny example. So this is my son's basketball. Okay. And he bounces it the same way. Now, if this ball is even missing 5% pressure, meaning you won't see it when you push, but he'll feel it when he bounces the ball. It won't bounce back the same. It'll
Mhm.
bounce back different if the pressure is off, right? So when I'm hitting, when I punch, I don't want to hit the ball. I want to feel the pressure of the air inside the ball. Like when you hit somebody in the stomach, you don't really want to hit the person in the stomach. You want to make the air come out. You want to give them pain inside if that's the goal. You don't care about hitting the person. It's like a point karate guy in a street fight. It's not about touching the person, it's about stopping them. And that is inside, right? That's in their head or in their body. So when I'm here, I'm hitting, it not me to punch the ball. I want to feel the pressure of the air in the ball. So I want to feel that. I don't want to just hit the ball. So when you're here and you're punching, you need to feel this. And if you can't, do it this slow. Look at me. See? I feel the air jamming, right? And then I punch and I want to feel that. I want to feel how the air goes from here and I can feel it up here. I feel the air in my hand up here, okay? So when you hit the person in the stomach, you don't want to just hit them in the stomach. You want to hear, like you want to see an effect, right? Another effect could be this, like their eyes like this. That's an effect, right? The other one could be like that's an effect, right? I want that. I don't just want to hit you in the stomach. I need to do something with it, right? So when I'm here and I'm punching, at first I just feel the air, and then later I feel it like this. I don't feel myself. I feel the air in this ball. That's my main goal. I feel the air here. Okay. Now you could also do it like this too, right? And look at my fist. Look at my fist. It's bouncing, right? Because the pressure of the ball is constant. The pressure of the ball is constant. Yeah, and your fist should bounce back the same way because this is providing the pressure to come back, Alex, later you take some air out of that ball. That's too hard. It's good for knuckle training, but not so good for. Remember, the ball is irrelevant. It's inside that you want. That's what you're after. That's the pressure. The ball creates the pressure, the air inside. That's it, Pierre. That's it. Okay, good, guys. Good stuff. Okay, did you feel that? Talk to me. Did you feel it? Could you see how you could feel that? Remember, two balls. One has not so much air. This has full of air. Okay, so this one will bounce different than this one. Okay, they'll be totally because they're under different pressure. This is deeper pressure. This is a lighter. This would be like Systema student. This would be like, I don't know, Shotokan karate, just hard as a rock, right? The pressure is different inside these, right? When you're hitting, I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but there's I think it was Michael that said it, where he said, don't want to damage the person. You want to stop. When you punch somebody, you don't care about hurting them physically outside. You want to stop their stupid thoughts in their head. That's what the punch needs to destroy, not the person. So your punch destroys the thought, not the person. So when you punch the person in the stomach, if it goes deep enough, it goes to the central nervous system, it goes to their head, and they start to say, I don't want one of those. right? Like, that one's too strong. So when you hit people, if you're thinking of touching them, you're in the wrong place. You got to think about changing their mind. It's got to go deeper than just touching their body. Does that make sense? And stuff like this will help you understand that it's a pressure that the body is under, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's oxygen in the lungs and the pressure of the lungs. It's a pressure that's in there, right? Make sense? Yeah, you got it? Okay. Now, we didn't touch on the legs, but everything you just did could be done with the legs. But I wanted to make sure that we got the body and this concept here, right? Because it applies to striking, it applies to wrestling. You got to see it as a pressure, and it also applies to the legs, right? So for me, just sit with your legs crossed, put the ball in the middle of you, right? So at first I'm squeezing in with my legs, right? But then I'm putting my stomach on top. So like I lean my stomach forward and I kind of try squeeze the ball with my legs, my arms, my stomach, and I try to use my stomach to push into the ball and feel the pressure. Yep. That's it. And then slowly, again, I just start to move a little bit, not too much, but like, I don't know, a couple inches one way, a couple inches another way. And if you can see what I'm doing with my hands, oh, sorry. There. If you can see what I'm doing with my, look, I'm taking support here. I'm taking support here. I'm taking support here. I'm taking support here. Like I'm, yeah. Keep trying, guys. Yeah, like just take support in different ways. It's really tight. Imagine like really in tight wrestling. You see those guys that can take support. Yeah, very good. A little bit one way, a little bit the other way. Great. Okay, now, sorry guys, a little quick because I want to get it all in there, but this is really, how many times I've tried to grab a guy in a headlock and then he squeezes out only to be at my stomach level, okay? And you catch before they go with your leg or with your inner leg or your arms, like knowing how to work in unusual positions with pressure is very important. So I really find this last one where I'm using my stomach, like this lower area and my legs. So it's like my 2/3 body, not my upper body or my lower, like right in the middle. Learning how to work in here, you really can catch a lot of those guys that are elusive in wrestling, like they get away from the headlocks pretty easy. They move well. You'll probably end up catching them somewhere here, which is really good. You know, if you can work in this place, you'll catch those guys that have secondary. I don't know if any of you have ever boxed, but there's some people that are very good getting away from the jab and the right hand, but they're always susceptible to an uppercut because it's just, so if you're good with the uppercut, you can catch those guys that are very elusive with their head movement because they stick it out all the time. If you're good here with good sensitivity, you know, in the midsection on how to kind of hold, you know, you can really capitalize and get those guys on the ground that are squirmy. Okay. Grab your band again. Have your band again. And now I've kind of got it in my feet. So it's not on my ankles, but it's kind of on my feet. And I'm trying to do that. Like I'm trying to open up my legs like that, right? And I get to about that 50% pressure, and then I start to go like down or up or left or right. And I kind of, again, I'm keeping the same pressure out. Right? This is really good for your ankles, really good for your ankles. Try to keep that same pressure, There's an outward pressure. And then now move it to your ankles, okay? So you're not in, it's around your ankles. And again, I'm pushing out, okay? And just one foot stays on the ground and the other foot controls the pressure, okay? And I start to kind of move my foot around and keep that pressure constant. So there's a pressure, and I don't want to feel it in your hips, guys. Don't feel it in your hips. Feel it in the band. You have to feel the elastic stretching, not your hips. 50%. That's the trick. It's not exercise for the hips. It is, but it's not. You need to feel pressure on the band. Nice. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Any way you can move. You can punch, do a push-up, a leg raise, body raise. Just always feel the pressure on that band, not the hips, the band. Good. Now move the band to your knees. So it's like your knee area. Okay. And again, 50% pressure going out, not 100%. It's like 50%, and slowly start to kind of move and keep that pressure. Keep that pressure. Keep that pressure. Constant pressure from the knee area. Nice, Alex. Nice. Yeah, punch. If you have a knife, work with a knife, a gun, stick. You can do anything, but just keep that pressure. Awesome, guys. Good. Grab your ball between your knees again. And again, start to kind of move. Keep that pressure constant. So now you're squeezing, right? Mostly from the knees, right? Keep that pressure constant. Awesome, guys. Good, good. Okay, come close for a sec. I have some wonderful memories of wrestling with some guy who I had him in a headlock. He escaped the headlock, and then I had him in my stomach, and then he escaped my stomach, and I had him in the knees, right? And he eventually got out, and he goes, geez, it felt like I was wrestling three different people, like from all different heights. I could grab his head from all different places, like in different ways, right? So it's like you're trying to say to yourself at all levels, I understand pressure, because that's what I'm trying to do around a headlock, is create pressure on the neck, right? Or if an arm bar, I'm creating pressure on the arm, or knee, creating pressure on the knee. So you're studying how to put pressure from different parts of your body, because you're training your body as a pressure sensitive machine. Now, remember, you can push pressure and there's pulling pressure. Okay. They're both pressure. It's from different ways. So there's nothing stopping you tomorrow for putting 50% pressure in with your legs, 50% pressure out with my arms, and moving. All right. So you can mix and match this stuff to your heart's content. It depends how much. Now you can do it with a softer ball. You can do it with a hard ball. They'll all give you a different effect. You can do it with different shapes. It can be a long shape. It can be it can be anything. As long as you say to yourself, I don't care about the external. I don't care about my bicep flexing. I care about this, the stretch in the band. Okay, that's really important, that you learn to feel pressure, not yourself. That's it. I'm not trying to feel my biceps. I know when Jake had asked me originally about bands, it's more because he loves to feel his body. There's nothing wrong with feeling your muscles, but just know there's another side to it. There's a whole other part that you can explore. Okay. There was a guy, for those of you that like to shoot guns, okay? Let's see if I have it here. Yeah. So I'll give you another story about pressure. The guy told me when I was shooting my guns, he said, Manny, he goes, what makes a bullet go out of a gun is the pressure, because the bullet is, when the explosion happens, there is a cylinder and the bullet is under pressure, only has one way to go. Okay. So when you're holding and shooting, because when you're holding and shooting, if you relax your hand, it's an explosion and the pressure is constant. So he goes, if you want to be accurate in shooting, this is what he tells me. This is me after shooting for 10 years. The guy said, he goes, if you relax, there's an explosion and it comes down, boom, boom, boom. And he said, there's a pressure. There's a pressure. He goes, if you relax your hand, it'll always come back the same way. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you keep tension in your hand, it's like the ball will be, it'll be all over the place. Okay. If you keep the same pressure in your hand and the same pressure in the ball, it's coming back the same way. Boom, 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 boom. I couldn't believe the difference in the groups of my shots. If you can maintain a comfortable pressure in your body and then understand how to put that in another person, you control the game, guys. You're controlling the emotional connection to it. You understand it? There are some
Yeah.
people there because when you understand pressure, you understand the emotional component to it. Too much pressure makes people unreasonable. Enough pressure makes them reasonable, makes them predictable. And then that's what you can use against the person, okay? Does that make sense? Really interesting. There's many layers to this. There's so many layers to this stuff. But I can only guarantee you, if you start with your fist and understanding pressure, how to build up pressure the right way in your fist, not tension, but pressure in your fist, pressure in your arms, pressure in your body, pressure in your legs, pressure in different objects. The other person is easy when you get to training. You'll feel the pressure in them, okay? Does that make sense? I hope so,
Totally,
guys. I hope
totally.
so. If you have
Yeah.
any questions as you, because you're going to be thinking about this stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
You'll see it. You'll start thinking about this stuff, and you'll see pressure in everything. See it in your kids. See it in your wife. See it in yourself. See it in your job. See it in people around. Like, see the effects of pressure. See what it does, and you can start to understand what its effects are on you. Very interesting. Okay, super, super interesting for me. Anyway, guys,
Very
thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it, guys.
interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Manny.
Thank you, Manny.
Guys,
Great
have a
class.
great
Thanks a lot.
have a great week,
you.
guys. Wonderful seeing
Enjoy
you.
it.
Take
Great
care,
class.
guys.
That's,
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.